Alright, hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, let's review two battery powered snow blowers here. Now, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. They are both from PowerSmart. I'll have links in the video description down below if you're interested in getting more information or to buy them. But this one is a heavier duty two-stage unit. It's 24 inches wide. You can see it has a metal auger, and two-stage means it has this front metal auger, but then it also has the second one back here that helps eject all the snow out of this chute. So this one is 80 volt system. They actually have the same battery, and they both have lights, LED lights that they can control. That one has 21 inch of width, and then it's a single stage, which means it just has a single paddle wheel here, and that action is what also throws it out of here. So they tend to not be as good on wet, heavy snow or deeper snow. And then also, instead of having a metal auger, this has a reinforced aluminum and fabric one that obviously will wear out eventually over time, as well as not chew through like ice and hard chunks, as well as this metal one, which literally has looks like saw blades on it to really break up that stuff. Now, as far as the controls go, this two-stage unit has a handle here to turn the chute left and right, as well as another handle to adjust up and down for your ejection. It has a throttle control here for forward and reverse, so it's a powered unit where it actually drives it forward and backwards with these 13-inch rubber tires. And then we can turn on the lights here if we flip the switch here. So these lights, and if we flip on these lights here, you can see the difference of light output that they have. And then up here you have your controls for your chute, your auger, as well as your drive. Now on this unit here, the chute is manual, so you got to grab it by hand and turn it for both left and right and up and down. But it does stay put. You know, you adjust this so it has the right tightness, and then that does work for you here. And then to make it go, you press and hold the power button, and then you press the lever here. You'll see one of the nice things about the electric ones is they don't just jolt and grab and shake as they turn on. It allows it to ramp up slowly. That's the same for this one. If I press the power button and then I press the auger here, it will ramp up to speed fairly quickly. Now the other feature that this smaller one has is this handle folds down. It's a quick release, no tools required. You pop both those out, and then this handle can fold down without a problem to help with storage. You can turn this around, and it's a fairly compact unit. Now as far as the battery goes, these both have, like I said, the same battery. It's an 80 volt system, and the battery that comes with it is a 6 amp hour battery. It's got a little indicator here that you can press the button and see the green lights there on it. So the battery, like I said, is the exact same between them. They come with a fast charger that charges in about an hour and a half. They say both of them will do about 3,000 square feet of snow at 8 inches of depth. So that's what they are both rated for, and I assume that's what they'll get. But for this area here, I have a little bit more snow coming down, but it's like 32 degrees. So it's a very wet snow. You can see where I stepped, it just turns into kind of that slush. And I actually have some big piles over here that I'll test them in as well. All right, you can see here's a little pad I did not plow. My main driveway goes that way, kind of into the darkness. And that is what I have plowed, and I put a big pile of snow here. It's probably about 3 feet high by about 12 or 15 feet long. So I can really get these guys and test them out. The rest of this is kind of a mix of slushy. It's been kind of melting, like I said, it's about 32 degrees. So it's probably about, 2 or 3 inches here close to the barn, and then it might be 4 in the middle, and then it obviously thins out before the big pile there. Now you can see how heavy the snow is, how it sticks to all these trees and is weighing them all down. So that's how you know it's that wet, heavy snow. So it should be a good test for a blower, because this is the snow that clumps up and sticks together. Alright, so this is how FedEx delivered it to my door, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape here from a packaging standpoint. Let's open it up and put it together. This is the 21-inch single stage battery powered electric snowblower from PowerSmart. this electrical connector, you do have to be careful with it. You know, at first when I went in there, I actually bent a pin slightly. I noticed that luckily before I pressed any harder or wiggled it at all. But so just make sure you are completely you know, lined up with that before you apply any force at all. That's all there is, it looks like, for the assembly. Now let's just grab the battery and take that out. Alright, but so the battery just pops in right here. You pick up this guy, make sure that you have the battery lined up correctly, and you push it down and it locks in place there. So that's where it stays for being used, and then we can just power it on right here. Now to charge it, they give you this fast charger. I think it's about an hour to hour and a half charging time if it's a fully dead battery. So this just plugs into a standard 110 outlet and it will charge up. Alright, so this guy does have lights here. We can press on. You can see there's lights there that kick on and off. Alright, then of course the beauty of electric is there's nothing else to do to it other than you press the safety button and then you can squeeze the handle. Alright, so here we have the single stage. I'm going to start with that one. You know, I did a trial pass there to get a feel for it, but this is really my first time blowing with it, so we'll press this button, hold down this, get it up to speed, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, so you can hear it scraping the ground there, and this is that slushy stuff that I'm talking about, that it makes it a little bit harder when I have to push it because it kind of gets stuck. So I have to lift up the front of it a little bit to make it work. Now it's not that bad, and like I said, this is kind of not worst case, because I guess this could freeze on you and be actual ice instead of slush. But that's the one downside to not having the power one from a driven one, is you have to kind of push through that stuff yourself. All right, so let's do a little bit more here. All right, so let's go over to this big boy now and see how it can do with the same setup here. Alright, so it definitely does a good job there, and it's definitely easier than that guy, but the downside of this guy is when I'm pulling it backwards here, this isn't normally how I would snow blow this space, but it is definitely harder to maneuver when you're not powered. So to get it to turn and whatnot with the locked axle, it's a bigger, heavier machine. So if you didn't need this big of a machine, you might not want to deal with it all the time. So there's always upside and a downside. But let's go into this big, thick stuff and just see what happens. All right, so you can see how kind of fruitless that is and how difficult it is, because this simply can't cut an E2. I mean, I'm able to force it in there and make it happen, but you definitely would not want to do that very often with a blower like this. Let's put this one aside, get the big guy out and see what it does. All right, so there we go. Now I ended up pushing enough of it down that it started having a hard time of actually scooping that stuff up there. But you can tell the auger never slowed down, and really it was more of a just traction and, you know, how much I was willing to ride up it. But this guy never slowed down the auger itself, so it was able to keep going. You can see here that it stayed fairly clean. Let's get the light a little bit here. You can see that, you know, this guy's self-cleaning, and these metal auger really do a much better job of cutting in to deep stuff like that than the single stage unit does. All right, so one thing I will have to admit is on the lighter or shorter stuff, I can actually go faster with the single stage because I can push it faster than the two-stage one can actually drive itself. It drives, you know, fairly slow. But this one, like for this light stuff, I can actually zip down it quicker than I can the bigger one. All right, there we go. So, you know, really, I like both of the machines, but for me, for my needs, definitely the two-stage bigger one is what I need. This little one, maybe I could use it up around the house for some of the smaller walkways and that kind of stuff. But for me, if I'm going through anything bigger and heavier, I want the two-stage, and especially if you get this wet, heavy snow, that's my recommendation to you there. But these kind of things are fun to test and understand how they're different. And I really like that I can swap the batteries between these two, as well as things like their lawn mowers and other things like that. All right, another side note, if you like how bright it is out here, it's probably close to midnight right now, but it is very bright back here because I have this big LED light. If you like that light, check out the video description for a link to that one as well. Thanks for watching, and take care. Alright, so that one has 3 out of 4 bars. Didn't use it a whole lot. Alright, let's check out this big guy here. Alright, that one has 2 out of 4 bars. So that one I did most of the work with, and you can see used up about half the battery.